James Mercer Langston Hughes was born in 1902 in Jocelyn, Missouri. He lived with his grandmother in Kansas until he was 13, and when his grandmother died, he moved back with his mother to Illinois. This is where he wrote his first poem. His earliest influences were Walt Whitman and Carl Sandburg. In his later years, he was deemed the poet of the Negro race and wanted to represent the race in his writings. Langston Hughes was a social activist, novelist, playwright, columnist, and poet. He was one of the earliest innovators of the art form known as jazz poetry, and he's best known for being a leader of the Harlem Renaissance, which was an art movement in the 1920s after the stock market crashed and the Great Depression began. During these years, Black intellectuals and artistic life flourished, particularly in New York. Harlem, which was known as the Negro capital of the world. The poem, Ballad of the Landlord, was about the abuse and horrible injustices during the era of 1930 that the African Americans faced living in Harlem. It was a protest to the terrible living conditions that the landlords refused to fix. In this poem, the tenants refusing to pay rent and the landlord won't fix a leaky roof. In the end, even though it's his duty, the tenant is thrown in jail. Over the years, Hughes was given many awards for his poetry and his writings, and on May 22nd, 1967, Langston Hughes died in New York from complications of surgery from prostate cancer. He had a great influence on poetry and writing, and we're left with a collection of brilliance to enjoy. Here's the poem, The Ballad of the Landlord. Landlord, landlord, my roof has sprung a leak. Don't you remember I told you about it way last week? Landlord, landlord, these steps are broken down. When you come up yourself, it's a wonder you don't fall down. $10 you say I owe you, $10 you say is due. Well, that $10 is more than I'll pay you till you fix this house up new. What, you gonna get eviction orders? You gonna cut off my heat? You gonna take my furniture and throw it in the street? You're talking high and mighty. Talk till you get through. You ain't gonna be able to say a word when I lay my fist on you. Police, police, come and get this man. He's trying to ruin the government and overturn the land. Copper whistle, patrol bell, arrest, precinct station, iron cell. Headline in the press, man threatens landlord. Tenant held no bail. Judge gives Negro 90 days in the county jail.